Good day and welcome back, DoomTubers. Today is another discussion video. We beat another game today, this afternoon, and that is Rage for the Xbox 360, also for the PlayStation 3 and PC, I believe, from id Software, id Software and Bethesda, creators of the Fallout series, which it's pretty obvious in this game, but I don't know. It is different enough that I don't want to compare it too closely to Fallout. I just want to consider it to be kind of its own thing. It's got a lot of similarities to Fallout, in kind of the story, um, without ruining too much. You kind of wake up in a pod-like thing. It's called an ark, not a vault like in Fallout, but it's called an ark, and there's just a few people in this thing, and you're actually frozen, preserved for the forthcoming meteor strike upon the Earth, creating a post-apocalyptic landscape. But you wake up in this kind of ravaged world that you know nothing about, and you walk out of the ark, and you immediately get attacked by a bandit. Somebody just wants to kill you or turn you in because apparently your hide is worth money to the turn you into the authority, and you are worth money apparently. But you have no idea about this. But you are thankfully saved by one of the locals who isn't a bandit, and who then you kind of set on your way. The game plays a lot like a Fallout or like a Borderlands for a little bit, with kind of the fetch quest kind of thing. Like, hey, go do this for me, and I will give you this, or I will tell you where to go next. So that sort of thing. So you start out. There's a whole a driving aspect goes along with this, which is kind of cool because it makes for fun travel instead of just lugging along long distances. You have different vehicles you can choose from. You start out with a little ATV type vehicle, and you upgrade to like a dune buggy, and then you upgrade to I think it's called a Caprino, something like that. It's like basically like an El Camino, but dune buggy style. I don't know. I don't know what it is, like what a Caprino is, but it looks kind of like a truck, kind of like a car, sort of. I don't know. And then lastly, I think you get a Monarch. I think is the last vehicle you get. So basically, in the vehicular combat part's pretty cool too. In each of the towns, you can actually participate in races and collect these certificates to upgrade your vehicles. When I mean upgrades, like you can upgrade kind of their armor, you can upgrade wheels, and your engine, and also weaponry. You can equip your vehicles with miniguns, rocket launchers, pulse cannons, all kinds of really cool stuff. And so yeah, it's got this whole other aspect to it besides the kind of fetch questy stuff. And also, it's made by id Software too. So I mean, it's got really great first-person shooter elements to it too. There's several guns to choose from, and each gun has 2 or 3 different kinds of ammunition to use as well. The meteor that strikes Earth is made out of obviously a foreign mineral, or a foreign substance. I forget what it's called. It's like feltrite or something like that. They call it feltrite, and they create ammunition that is infused with this feltrite, so it makes it like even more powerful. So yeah, all of the weapons have a standard ammunition, and they also have this feltrite infused ammunition too. It's really good. So yeah, it's one of those kind of futuristic, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic kind of games. I mean, there's a lot of things that are spacey, kind of futuristic about it, but also kind of a back to roots post-apocalyptic kind of thing going on too. And I hate to make the comparison so early because I did play quite a bit of this game before I watched the movie. But based on what I've experienced with the first movie and the trailer for the new Mad Max flick, if you're a Mad Max fan, this game right here, because it's kind of cool to make that comparison even now. So yeah, it's I feel like this game is unfairly criticized. I'm not sure what people expected from this game, but it ended up being very good. It's right around the 10-hour mark, which I would say is, about right. I felt like it should be longer, but only because of the ending. And this game came out like 2011, I think, and we have no sequel to this. And I've seen the ending to this game, and I'm wondering, okay, are we ever going to get a sequel to this? Because this game really needs a sequel, because I feel like it was really, really well executed. Man, the ending was just like, huh? I mean, I really just set the controller down and was just almost offended that was the ending. It's like, we're just getting started here. We're just getting started, and yeah, it ends. So basically, you join the resistance in fighting against the authority, who have kind of taken over the world and trying to kind of form it to their own, views, and they're doing some bad things without ruining a lot of plot points. That's all I can really say. But yeah, it plays a lot like a Borderlands or a Fallout type fetch questy kind of thing. But I haven't played very much of Borderlands, and I played about 3 hours of Fallout tonight. Yes, I did start Fallout 3 immediately after beating Rage, which I think is a good decision. Well, that type of game is fresh in my mind. But that said, it's still really, really early for me in Fallout. But so far, I mean, this game hooked me pretty quickly. I didn't think that I would like this game, but I really did end up loving it quite a bit. So yeah, it's got a lot going on. There's several different kind of gameplay elements. There is a racing element. There is a vehicular combat element. There's a very well done first-person shooter element, which borrows obviously some stuff from id Games, but it really borrows a lot from games like BioShock too. It's pretty well done. It's got some item crafting kind of thing. You can make remote controlled bombs, and you can make like grenades, EMP grenades. You can make bandages that'll raise your health a little bit, and it's got another cool element too, because of who you are. I guess I didn't really get into kind of what your character is. You're some kind of special person because you were preserved in this arc, and you have like a defibrillator, or fibrillator. I don't know, one or the other, built into your body, installed into your body. So when you die, you can actually it pops up like a little quick time event kind of thing to revive you, and the better you do in the little quick time mini game thing, I don't want to call it a mini game, but that's kind of what it is. You have to line up the little circles and then pull the triggers at the same time, and then eventually you shock yourself awake, and then depending on how well you did in that depends on how much health you start with. There's no health bar really, and you do have regenerating health, so really the defib thing only happens if you just happen to stumble into an area with a ton of enemies. which there are a lot of enemies even on the easier difficulty. I mean, there was a ton of enemies, a lot of different kinds of enemies too. Like, I was surprised. There's a good amount of enemies. But like I said, very well done combat. Lots of different weapons. You know, shotgun, assault rifle, and then a lot better assault rifle. You got a rocket launcher. You got a crossbow that's really good for stealth type stuff. You got these things called wing sticks, basically like three-way boomerangs. And if you miss the enemy, like unless it hits a wall, it'll come back to you and you get to use it again. But if it hits an enemy, it usually hurts them or kills them, but it usually breaks the wing stick. But you can actually make those, and you can also buy them from merchants too. They're really cheap, so you can get hundreds of them for really cheap. Let's see what else. Other weapons. There's a sniper rifle. You start out with a pistol, and you don't upgrade the pistol itself, but like I said, you can upgrade to better ammunition as you go on, like different kinds of ammunition. You start with the standard pistol rounds, and you upgrade to the Fat Boys, which, you know, kind of self-explanatory. They're just bigger bullets, and they hit harder. And you can buy a scope for your pistol, kind of turn it into like a sniper rifle pretty early on before you actually get the sniper rifle, so that's pretty helpful. The shotgun is basically buckshot, then you upgrade to the Feltrite infused ammunition. So I mean, even though there's not a ton of different kinds of guns, there is a lot of variety there. For each one of the guns, you have basically 2 or 3 different effectiveness levels of ammunition, things like that. So you just got to play it smart. You know, certain enemies, you know, fall down easier than others, so just kind of preserve your ammo as you go. But you can loot all of the corpses, you know, for ammunition and money, and you can take that money back, and there's all kinds of objects and things you can find in the world, in the wasteland, and in the levels. Take them back to town, sell them, get money. You know, it's got this whole loot element too, similar to like your BioShock or your Borderlands. You know, it's got a lot going on in the game. But like I said, I beat it in about 10 hours. I guess I don't know if I said that. I beat it in about 10 hours. I really felt like it could be a little bit longer. But there is some DLC out there that I'd like to play, and there is a co-op. There's some co-op missions that are unique to co-op. You actually have to play co-op in order to play them. Like, they are not available for single player. And there also is online multiplayer too, but it's just for the vehicular stuff. I don't know if it's races and combat or if it's just combat. I don't know. But that would be pretty cool too. I jumped on earlier, but nobody was online. Go figure. A game that's 3 or 4 years old and sold crappily, and everybody seems to shit on. I'm not surprised that no one was on playing, especially on Xbox Live. But that said, it is a really great game. I do recommend it very, very highly. But not just because it's an id game. I know everybody's kind of thinking that, and that I will admit that is why I bought it. I did buy it because it does say that, those 2 little letters right there on the bottom. I did buy it for that reason. But now that I've played it, it really kind of stands on its own. I don't compare it to the other id games too closely because it's not really like them. It's just not. If anything, it was more like Wolfenstein: The New Order than any of the past id games, and that's because, you know, Wolfenstein was made by Machine Games under the Bethesda umbrella too. So I mean, that doesn't surprise me because it came after this game. So that Wolfenstein kind of took some of the cool things that I really enjoyed from this game and kind of expanded upon them. But really, let's go, Bethesda. Let's go. Let's make this happen. Rage 2, come on. I know it's not going to happen, but a guy can dream. And briefly, I'll talk about a little bit more about Fallout 3. Most of you probably played Fallout 3. But I can't say that most of you probably played Rage. But Fallout 3, a a lot of the things that I liked about Rage are present in here too. So it's clear to see where they came from. It's clear to see, you know, the influence. But one of the things I don't really care for right off is, I mean, and this sounds petty, but it's like how much conversation there is, and it's a little bit convoluted. Um, I'm not sure, and I know like the choices you make, the things you choose to say, kind of affect story a little later, you know, whatever, and trigger things you say, trigger events and things like that. And something has already happened that I don't like that it's happening. It's like, man, that's stupid. Just because I said one thing to somebody, now somebody's dead. So I don't know. I can't say what it is without ruining it. So it's just like things like that. It's like I get it. It makes for a good, almost a more realistic kind of a thing. But also it was really odd, you know, because the person dies and there's a bunch of people around and nobody does anything. Nobody even moves. They just like go on about their business like nothing happened. It's like, huh. So on one hand, it's almost more realistic, but then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, that's weird. So I definitely am going to continue on for now. I think this is a pretty long game, so it hasn't, you know, really hooked me. You know, I played for like 3 hours, but I say that, but you know, it's been a lot of talking and a lot of yeah, a lot of not knowing where I'm going, kind of thing. But that part doesn't. That's not what's bothering me. Nothing's really bothering me, but kind of exploring and stuff is not a big deal. I'm kind of enjoying that, especially because I do appreciate that you have a map, and there also is the fast travel. You know, so it's like you can skip back to towns that you've been to pretty quickly. You know, towns or areas that you've been to pretty quickly, and you don't have to spend a lot of time just walking and walking and walking. Seen somebody already on Facebook tonight on the AGP page say that, I can't even remember who it was, honestly, say that Fallout 3 is basically Elder Scrolls with guns, and I see that. I've only played, you know, Skyrim, and only for, you know, like 5 or 6 hours, you know, but I get it. I get how that they can make this comparison, and because of that, I am trying to play a little bit more carefully, because I don't know if I can kill people that I'm not supposed to kill. So that kind of bugs me. But anyway, this video is long enough. Rage, definitely recommend it if you're looking for a fun kind of Borderlands, Fallout, Bioshock amalgamation of a game made by Bethesda and id Software. Go into it expecting just kind of a fun game. You know, don't go into it expecting the greatest thing of all time, which is what I think what killed the game. Hype and high expectations really kind of destroyed what really is a unique, or not, I won't say too unique because it's not that unique, but what is a fun game, and it's dirt cheap too. I think you can get this game for like $5. So definitely pick up Rage, play it. I don't care what platform you're on. It's going to be fun on any platform. So thank you for watching. Doom Waves out.